Well, we're here. We're here in Ohio. Ava, Ollie, and I are in this car. Three of our caretakers and Amy are in the other car, and we are going to get a bite to eat. A little line up here at the restaurant, but I tried to get the videos done today. There's just so much going on right now. It is stressful, very stressful. You know, all week, many of you may or may not have known this, but I had made 4 trips to Cleveland this week. First trip with the horse over the last 8-9 days. Sit down, buddy. First trip was with the horse. Who's the first horse I brought over? Braemar. First trip was with Braemar last week. Then I brought That's My Girl over. Then I went back over in this car, my car, on Friday morning. So I left Tamiko Training Center at noon, drove all the way, at 10, drove all the way to Cleveland, got out of the car, handed the keys to Jason, jumped in with somebody else and got a ride back across the border to Ontario. Back across the border. And then the next morning woke up, loaded everybody and everything in Amy's car. Now, I got my B1 on Friday. One of our caretakers, Shelby, was with me. She got her B1, no problem. And as I spoke to the officer, he wasn't super certain that Amy could get across, right? Amy and I both have a very valid reason to be in Ohio, but what are they going to say about the kids? Like, can they say, no, you can't? I don't know. So we get to the border, we're chewing our nails and holding our breath. We get to the border, no problem. We get through. Go and race last night. I literally get there for race 1. I drive somebody's horse. I finished 3rd. And then Camco Lizzie. I feel bad for the guys that have Camco Lizzie. There's a filly that touches a knee, found a good spot at Woodbine. I drove her a little rough for a second start, and she didn't race as good, but raced great for Jody in her first start. Then last night, she was making a little noise at the quarter pole. I had to get her out and rolling. I think she was just a little out of sorts last night. Do I think she can get around Northfield? Yep, I think she can. She's going to get around 55? No, she's not. So we have to find a spot for Camco Lizzie and see what we can do with her. 2 hours from here is Pennsylvania. We can race at the Meadows. Problem is you can't always get in at the Meadows, so you're at the mercy of the draw. I'll talk to Tim and see if we can get her in. A couple other horses we'd like to get in the same manner. But for now, Camco Lizzie, an unfortunate start last night. Still paced 59, which isn't that fast here, but at the same time, she got around, did her work best she could, making a little noise, pulled up, we scoped her. In fact, she did flip her pallet, but not the end of the world. But don't be picking at your face. What else did we do? So I drove last night, got back to the hotel room. I'm exhausted. So, got back to the hotel room. Don't even have a place to live yet. The problem isn't a place to live. There's lots of places to rent. The problem is that not many people want to rent for 5 or 6 months, right? And we're getting into a position now where it's maybe we'll just go to one of those condo community things. I don't know. We have options, but we don't have time, right? Every day is a new day, and every day is another day at a hotel. So we don't want to keep this going. It's very stressful on me. We're in cramped quarters, obviously. Very stressful on the kids also, and Amy. So we want to get that taken care of. Then kids are supposed to start online learning tomorrow from their school. Hopefully we can get them set up with what's called asynchronous learning. You guys don't care about this, but asynchronous learning where they send via email their homework and we can do it throughout the day. Just a lot, right? Amy's here we both work in the barn, but the kids aren't allowed on the backstretch right now still. I mean, things are opening. You still have to wear a mask, right? You still have to wear a mask. You still have to be safe. You still have to social distance. I got my vaccine. Amy and the caretakers are going to get theirs next week. But you still have to be safe. So there's backstretch at Northfield. Kids aren't allowed on. Not that would be a wonderful place for them to learn anything anyway. So just so much stress still, but at the same time, things are going well, at least somewhat according to plan. We had a great win with Gray as a New Red last night. Yeah, she got a little tired on the end of it, kind of crawled under the wire. But if you watch, there was a recall. The problem with the recalls is They go, and it was late. It was right at the word go. So we're at top speed about to go out of there. And this is why nobody really passed me, because we were all exhausted. They go around a lap behind the gate. We don't get a chance to pull up and let the horses catch their breath. I could have, I should have, but she can get really bully, that filly, and the last thing I want to do was shut her air off. So we went around again. I cleared to the front. She come 32 flat, but nobody got by her. You know, I wasn't just upset with the way she raced. I like when horses win. I don't care if you stumble under the wire. Get there first. That shows a lot of gumption. And I'm very impressed with the way she did it. Not super impressed with the time, but that happens. You know, Ollie, sit back, honey. And when I said last night, today is the deadline for the Ohio sale. The Ohio sale's in, 3.5, 4 weeks? And I had entered. I had already entered Miss Brampton Beast, Cut the Line, Keystone Raven in the sale. Then we went ahead and entered Gray is a New Red, Well and Down in the sale also. And don't do that, honey. Gray is a New Red, Well and Down, and Stormont Wizard is back with us. So I'm just hedging our bets. You know, if the next 3.5 weeks don't go well, we have an option, right? We have an option to sell. Somebody's going to want those horses. They're useful animals. But if they're not going to be stake horses, and somebody said, well, they did so well at the fairs last year. Well, that was the 2-year-old fairs. Now you're at the 3-year-old fairs. There's a lot of 3-year-olds in Ohio. Are they going to do poorly? Probably not. I'm not worried about either of those fillies, but at the same time, let's use our heads here a little bit and open up some multiple paths for us moving forward. If they're racing good, $150 is call it insurance if you want. Ollie, stop on. Call it insurance if you want. Is a great way to, as I said, hedge your bets. So the Gray filly won. Time El Houdini qualified great. He didn't get in Friday, so Jenny put him into qualified great. Brave World, second in 54 last night. He raced very, very good also. So very happy with them. Day before, we got to watch Perfect Record come first over and finish third in 56, last quarter in 28. Horse has never seen speed like that. He's never been raced in that manner. It was always kind of, hey, can you follow along and get some money? This horse is showing some real talent now. Hi. You got on your arm, bud? What? You get something on your arm here. So Perfect Record, just a huge impressive mile. Not to be outdone was, earlier in the week, was Sweet Ambitions. I mean, we did have a good week, right? Italian Grit was a winner in 158. And then we got the School of the Fillies. Won My Heart Hanover. James was thinking of coming to Pennsylvania to drive her. He hasn't been able to figure out exactly what he wants to do, right? Nobody knows what's happening in Ontario. And none of these drivers want to be stuck in the U.S. inside of 2 weeks out of them opening. I'm certain they're not opening in 2 weeks, or in 3 or 4 weeks. What? Or in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But at the same time, James is trying to figure out what he's going to do. I'll drive Aglarium. But I was told by Tim the other day, there's no mathematical slam dunk that she did make the final. I thought there was. Here I am, put my foot in my mouth the other day, said, oh yeah, she'll make the final. He said it's not a slam dunk if she doesn't. I don't know if I want to race her in Pennsylvania. She may end up at Yonkers or the Meadowlands or another track that I'm about to talk about in a minute. This is the other problem is that I've been snapping at people for the last 2 days, a little short with everybody, because it's not just Anthony McDonald in the States. Listen, you could sit me in a parking lot, I'd call an Uber, go to a hotel, smile on my face. But I get my kids and my wife over here. We're still looking for a house. We're still looking for some sort of foundation over here. And it'll come. It'll happen. The kids are taking it great. Addie's been fantastic. It's stressful. So the other part of the stressful part is getting the horses where they need to be, right? We got the horses to Ohio that need to be here. But you all know what's coming. You all know the question. It's all on the tip of your tongues, and I know nobody really wants to put me on the spot because you're polite, right? And you don't want to stress me out anymore, but it's already there. What are we going to do with these horses that were ready to go? Ontario's not going to race probably till June, mid-June, and that's a reality. I'm an optimistic person. But reading between the lines and looking at what these politicians are talking about, 6-week lockdowns, and they went out with some ridiculous thing. They were going to start stopping people. They were going to ask the police to stop people. This is what the world's come to. This is what Canada's come to. It's going to be locked down for a little bit, and I'm really worried now. I'm not stupid. I know what's coming. I know it's, if you guys are thinking it, it's probably passed through my head yet already when it comes to the horses. So we have horses, right? Lots of them. No free lunch. Blue Monk. Adrenaline Rush. You have a good colt. Better than Cheddar Colt. That's Pacers. Dipsy and Dixie. Trotter. Can't Muscle Me qualified. These horses can't be ready to go and then just sit idle. We could stall for a month and keep them tight. But when you're talking 2 months, now we're talking problems. So I'm gonna circle back to that in just a second and leave that with you just to think about. Won My Heart Hanover is for sure in the final. She schooled awesome the other day. Billy Davis Jr. went with her at Northfield Park. He has become a real asset for us, and I hope he rethinks. He's not going back to Ontario. He wants to bring his family over too, but there's a few more complications when it comes to Billy. He's been an asset. Got along well. Won My Heart Hanover was awesome for Billy the other day. 59, last half 58. She drove away from them. Probably as good as I've ever seen her in her entire life. You all right, bud? What's wrong? You want to go eat? Be ready in a minute. Don't drop your mask on the floor, honey. Pick it up. So, as you can tell, everybody, although we had a little nap this afternoon and had a little time to relax, it's draining. So, Won My Heart Hanover, it was very, very good schooling. Eglariam was very good schooling. Frilly Fringe is schooled great. We didn't get her in to go at Northfield, so told Tim, just go ahead and enter her in Pennsylvania this week. I'm going to be down there. That might be a fun trip for us on top of what we're going through now. Is maybe scoot down to Pennsylvania Thursday, and then we'll also hopefully have Eglariam and Won My Heart Hanover in the final. Braemar will be racing on Thursday, I believe, also maybe Friday, but I believe Thursday. And then Sweet Ambitions Wednesday afternoon. Bud, sit up. Sit up. Wednesday afternoon, You look like a puppy. Stop, sad puppy. Stop. I think we got a couple of actors here too, also. Sweet Ambitions was very good last week. Hunter Myers is going to drive her on Wednesday. I think that's a good fit, Hunter and Sweet Ambitions. I had a good conversation with Hunter last night about Sweet Ambitions, what she's like, how she raced. Let's be honest, looking at the competition she's in with on Wednesday, I suspect she's going to be morning line favorite by the looks of that race, and the way she raced the other day, she should be. She was out of this world good. And then we're coming back here. The reason I'm not driving her is because I'm going to be here to drive Italian Grit on Wednesday. You might say, why not Billy? Billy's in Buffalo on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So Italian Grit, I'll drive on Wednesday. I'm a Lovely Lady, Holy Chick, and Fox Valley Britska. Those 4 horses are racing at Northfield Park on Wednesday. That should be a lot of fun. Thursday, we have Pennsylvania. And then something that come up Friday that is going to be very interesting. I believe we are going to get an invite for My Jazz to the Scarlet and Gray, by what I've been told. The race secretary in Miami Valley alluded to the fact that she would get an invite. Now, as I said, 2 weeks of heavy lifting behind a number of those fillies, and we can't make that up. I'm not going to jeopardize My Jazz just to have her tight for the Scarlet and Gray. It's a good qualifier for her. We'll train her up stiff again. We'll train her up stiff again for that final. And then Miami Valley on Friday. Now, you guys probably don't want to get down to Miami Valley where Great Wolf Lodge is, do you?
Hey, we want to go.
No, because you all look so... No, you look so unhappy. Everybody's so unhappy. You probably just don't want to go down to Great Wolf Lodge.
No, Dad, we want to go.
Oh, how things change. How so quickly. Friday, I believe we'll make our way down Cincinnati way, and I know what is just down the street from Miami Valley, and that is Great Wolf Lodge. So, although everybody has been a little beat up and tired over the last 48 hours, a little bit of relief coming towards the end of the week. Now, Saturday, we are going to... Okay, sit back, honey. Saturday, we are going to try and have the drone... a number of things have to happen for this to run seamlessly. I have to meet with or talk to the video crew at Northfield. David said, I'll put you in touch with the guy. It shouldn't be a problem. Curtis sent down a specific piece of equipment so that we can run the drone simultaneously. Now, it won't be a drone in Northfield. It'll be the camera, like they're racing. We won't be able to run a drone at Northfield for obvious reasons. You can't fly a drone over top of a public place. But Northfield should be able to simulcast live our training sets. We have 16 babies here. That'll be 3 sets of 5 or 4 sets of 4. It might work actually better. We'll have those for you as simultaneously as we're doing the drone in Ontario. So that should be cool. No, we're not drawing on windows. Sit back, you. You know how come. So the drone should be good. My jazz should be good. This should be a great week. A great week and a real uplifting week for the stable. I can't wait. Now, circling back to what we talked about, the 3-year Ollie, I asked you not to write on my windows, honey. Circling back to what I had talked about with the 3-year-olds. Nothing is set in stone, but I do have the wheels in motion, so to speak. I looked at where these horses would fit the best. Where do they need horses? First off, make no mistake, there is a massive influx of horses into the U.S. because of Ontario, right? And this precipitates what I'd said the other day about they're going to have such a tough time in Ontario filling classes when they get back because there's a ton of horses leaving. Indiana was a spot we were looking at. I called Indiana the other day. They said, our guys from Florida, California come back. We had an influx of horses. We're not going to be short anymore. So that means Indiana owned and bred preferred. So not a great setup for what we're attempting to do. But there is a place that does need horses. There is a place. They're getting out. I see. Do you guys want to go meet up with them?
Yeah.
Okay, go jump out. Be very careful in the parking lot, okay?
I know.
Bye, guys.
Look both ways. Say bye, Ollie.
Dude, I'm not a small
You're a smart
boy.
dude. I see. So yeah, there is one track that we've contacted that was very interested in us sending some horses there. A track that, from what I can see, we have a number of horses that will fit really, really well. And that track is Plainridge in Massachusetts. We may very likely send 5 or 6 horses that way. Please don't ask me who yet. I am very leery about this. I want to make sure that these politicians are as certain as they were before. I do not want to send these horses 7-8 hours away just to race them a few times, ship them back tired. That would be the worst case scenario. Just 1 second. Go on in, guys. I'll meet you in there. It's under me. Go on in. I'll meet you in there in 1 second. So we have our caretakers and our kids and Amy here. It's going to be a nice dinner. Massachusetts. I called there. We had a connection. A friend of mine used to be very good friends with the people that run Plainridge Raceway. So, did they leave the door open? I don't think so. So we have the invite. We have the opportunity. Now, the problem with Massachusetts is there's not a lot of stabling anywhere. So, I've been making some calls, talking to some people. Theoretically, I would like to send one of our caretakers to Massachusetts under a trainer there. That way I don't have to lay anybody off. We send 6 horses at a Tomiko Training Center right now. Somebody's losing a job. And we've worked so hard and so diligently to keep these people employed. Virtually begged these people to come over to Ohio for the next 4 months, told them how much fun it would be. I would suspect the final straw was the lockdown, and knowing that you could come out to eat, go to a Cleveland Indians game, get vaccinated, live a somewhat normal life over here right now, as opposed to being locked down and under lock and key in Ontario. It made things a little easier for us to do, but I'm glad these people came because it was going to put us in a spot I do not want to be in, a spot that I could be in next week. I don't want to have to lay anybody off, but my job is to cater to you, our clients. And I want to keep everybody happy, but we all know we live in a big boy and a big girl world where can't keep everybody happy all the time. I learned that last night also. We had sold Captain's Maid last week under virtually no opposition. Just Bob had made a good argument about keeping her, but ultimately we sold her for what I thought was a fair price. And I had an offer on Don't Believe Me, Just Watch yesterday, and was faced with almost a civil war inside of an ownership group. And I don't own any of Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. I just want to do what's best for everybody. It worked out well in the sense that our clients did not want to sell Don't Believe Me, Just Watch. So half of them didn't and half of them did. So the half that didn't bought out the half that did. So it worked out well. Anytime we can come to an amicable agreement on on something like that. It's best case for me. Last thing we want to do is leave people with a bad taste in their mouth. So Don't Believe Me, Just Watch is there, but won't be a horse that will be leaving. We'll be waiting on Ontario to open up for him. A lot of Don't Believe Me, Just Watch lovers out there, and a lot of people that want to keep him. And as I said to them, quite frankly, in an email last night, my job is to race him where he's competitive. So although you did not sell him, we will keep a very close eye on the classes when he comes back. He won't be racing over his head. That is for sure. But I'm happy to keep everybody happy. He did have a great class. He was doing well in the class he was in, and I know there was that thing that went on with Kevin, but I think I'm comfortable we got to the bottom of that, and it was more a mistake and an accident than anything else, and it certainly had no bearing on the way he was racing, not from what I could see. So, yeah, anytime we can work things out amongst ourselves, like friends, it's a good day for me. So, as I said, heading to Massachusetts is going to be tough. It's not a guarantee. It's not locked in stone, and it is certainly not going to be a cakewalk. I need to make sure I'm comfortable that when we make this move, one, I would like it to be for 4 or 5 weeks at most. Two, it would be profitable and good for the horses. They need to get work. You can't qualify a horse and then just say, okay, just take your time. We'll go back to you in about 6 weeks. It doesn't work that way. It is a detrimental to have them ready to go and then just stop them. It's not good for them. So horses like Adrenaline Rush. I can't, what the hell's that horse's name? We have 6 or 7 horses that really should go. So hopefully I can talk one of the caretakers into going with them. 4 or 5 weeks in Massachusetts, I could think of a million different places that would be worse to be than Massachusetts for sure. The track seems like it's willing to be very accommodating in helping us out. And quite frankly, I told them, listen, you tell me what classes you're short in, meaning I want our horses to get in every week. You tell me what you need and we'll fit that bill. And I think we have the opportunity to do that. I'm going to continue to have discussions with the race secretary at Plainridge Raceway, a couple of trainers I've talked to down there, and of course our caretakers, as I would love to not have to ask somebody to step away for 4 or 5 weeks. That would just be not a great feeling, to be honest. So that is where I am. Obviously, you can see I'm a little up and a little down. I'm pumped about what's about to happen this week. Very stressed out and burnt out over what took place over the last 5 or 6 days, but I'll bounce back quickly. My biggest concern right now is getting a place for my family, which will happen one way or another. Getting a place for my family, and getting their schooling back on track. That's paramount. That's number one. I reached out to the superintendent today. I think we have the flow of information locked in. Now it's just a matter of getting a place to have it flow to, which would be a place of living. So we're in Ohio now. We made it across. I'm here for the better part of 4 or 5 more months. When the border starts to relax a little bit, I am vaccinated, fully vaccinated. When the border starts to relax a bit, and it will, at that point I'll make my way back over. Thank God that we have James. You know, when James said, I don't think I'm going to go to Pennsylvania, I'm like, oh, too bad. I'm happy James is there to keep an eye on things. You know, we still have, listen, Harry, Mario, and Jason Shedrow and Johnny are very professional people and know that I just want to know what's going on at all times. I need to be aware of everything at all times, and they get that, and they've done a great job up to this point in keeping us informed. So I'm happy. What I'm seeing take place, aside from the little hiccup not getting settled just yet, is very optimistic. It is, I would consider, amongst best case scenario. We have done our crew has been steadfast in making sure the horses are ready to go, healthy, happy. We just moved them to another country, and the caretakers hit the ground running. Jason has been rock solid. They set up 2 full shed rows in 2 days in the most professional way. But Jason always does. He's a very meticulous guy when it comes to setting up the barns. Much better than I ever was or ever could be as far as getting things ready and organized. Jason does a fabulous job, and he definitely did a great job here. I know he stresses out because there's a lot of horses here, but this is an opportunity for him, and it's an opportunity that we need. We needed to do this. It's done. I'm not, and as I said, I was frustrated the other day. They asked me for a quote for the newspaper in Ottawa, and I told them, I'm not going to judge. We will all judge our government at some point down the road and what kind of a job they did during this pandemic. But I don't have the luxury to do that. We need to pivot quickly. We need to be more agile and flexible. And when we need to do something, it needs to get done now. And it did. And I'm so proud of the people that work for us, and so very thankful for the people that stand behind us, which is you, allowing us to do this. This was a monumental undertaking from my standpoint, and it went off for the most part without a hitch. When I look to the week ahead, starting on Wednesday with our racing, looking at we're not racing Tuesday, right? I don't think so. Wednesday we have the 2 Colts and 2 fillies here. We have Holy Chick, I'm a Lovely Lady, Fox Valley Britska, Italian Grit. All those horses are coming in hot. They're coming in sharp. Sweet Ambitions that afternoon you can't be any sharper than she is. She's trotted 7 full seconds faster than she ever did. That was incredible. So Wednesday's a big day. Thursday could even be bigger. One My Heart Hanover. Hopefully a Glare AM. Braemar coming in classes they should do very well in. Going to be another big day, right? Friday, My Jazz. Lucked out there. Didn't have to race in a Hackett to get to the Scarlet and Grey. We're not there yet. Still got to see her name on the sheet, but the invite was, issued. So, My Jazz, big day Friday. I get my kids down to Great Wolf Lodge for Friday. My wife is so stressed out right now, and to have them just have the night off. Now we're gonna have to get up early and drive. Either get there early Friday and spend the day in the water park, or get up early Saturday morning. It's a 3-hour drive, and I do want a drone on Saturday. So the drone will be the only hiccup. I want to make sure that absolutely it's possible. I believe it is, from what Curtis told me and from what the officials here at Northfield told me. It is possible. It is doable. Excuse me. The horses will be ready to rock. You can be sure of that. 16 2-year-olds right here, right now in Northfield Park. And then the other 31 or thereabouts. I know that Duke D.O. won't be going. Twin B Habanero may be going, depending on what James tells me about him this week. Somebody said, well, he said 3 weeks. Hold on. He was in the stall for 3 weeks. He was in the pool for 3 weeks. He's been working for 3 weeks. There's no need to be tiptoeing around it. Should be ready to rock. We'll have somewhere around 30, 31 horses ready. Definitely won't be 31. This is 47 total. Duke Dio's not there. So probably around 30 or so horses ready to go at Tamiko. That should be fun. It should be cool. Curtis will be able to flex his brain and his muscle as far as what he does best on Saturday. But yes, if you're going to ask me right now, right here and now, was it all worth it so far? Absolutely. I got my family out of Ontario, which, I don't mean it to sound like it's a hellhole. It's not. It's just very stressful and depressing for everybody right now, and I feel terrible for my friends that are left there. There's a number of people. There's an exodus right now from Ontario, both in humans. Travis Henry is coming. He's coming to help us out in Ohio. He'll likely take our horses down and race them in Indiana. I don't know whether I'm torn whether I want to stable in Indiana or send them there. It's a 4-hour ship, but if they leave in the morning, it should be fine. Our horses are pretty durable and resilient when it comes to that. So for the first time when we race them down there, Travis will race them more than likely, and they'll ship in. I told him, I said, don't worry about going to Indiana. Come to Northfield Park. We'll race them in that manner first, and if we want to deviate from that, then we can. But let's use Northfield as a base of operations for us. So Travis will be a big help being here also. So right now, Ontario's loss is definitely our gain for sure. So we're making things work regardless. Square, round peg in a square hole. We're going to get they're all going in the holes. Don't worry. We're getting everything done, and I'm so proud of our team for pulling this all together, and very, very, as I said, thankful for you for allowing us to do it. So thank you, everybody. We got everything out of the way. We get everything under control. Everything looks good so far. So let's see how things work out this week. Take care.